What's up, guys? It's Alec Torelli. Welcome back to an episode of Ask Alec. Today's question comes from Evan, who says, okay, this is how it goes for me. Play smart all night, playing 5-5. I win 35, I win 50 here and there, playing smart. 4 hours in, I'm up 400. Then I get a cooler, something like kings to aces. What the heck? And then I literally have been getting bad beaten and sucked out on for like 4 months straight, like insanely. What should I do here? It's to the point where I'm scared and I'm playing scared poker. So Evan, I get this question a lot, surprisingly. I get this question from a lot of people, and I definitely empathize where you're coming from. It is really frustrating to grind for a long time and feel like you have those slow wins, those little like chip-aways. You build up pots, you win without showdown, you're making moves, you're dancing around, you're crushing, breaking legs, taking names, and then next thing you know, boom, it's all swept out from under you in a second. I could definitely relate to that feeling, and that is definitely part of what it means to play poker, and that's just built into the nature of the game. So, all right, I don't know how often you're playing poker, but I'm going to a little bit lay down the hammer here and give you some, hopefully a little bit of perspective in this video that I think is going to help a lot of you guys really get that tough love you need to deal with this sort of situation when it comes to playing poker. So you said you've been playing for 4 months. That's a pretty long time. So it makes me think first and foremost that your sample size is long enough that maybe there's something else going on here besides you just playing excellent, winning, and then running bad and losing. There might be something in between where you're also losing money because you're misplaying a few hands, or you're not taking advantage of situations, or you're getting the money in bad a little bit of the time. So there's that aspect of it too, and it's really easy to just focus all of our attention on, the bad, because that's where the pain happens, that's where the frustration happens, that's what we're taught to focus on, because it's easier to look at the negative than it is to look at what you can do differently, because that's just kind of how we're hardwired to like focus on things that are painful, like to avoid that biologically. I'm not explaining this the best way possible, but basically, like if you think about danger, or you think about something that's bad that happens, you're much more hardwired to focus on that than you are to focus on something neutral or something good that happens. Just from an evolutionary standpoint, that helps keep you alive, right? If there's a saber-toothed tiger, to run, that's bad. That's danger, and anytime you have a bad experience, it's like imprinted into your memory much more than having a neutral or a good experience, right? If you think about looking at your couch that you just bought, it has, you're excited about it for a day, but then after a while the couch just is, you don't observe the couch, you don't even see it, you just walk by it without thinking about it because it's not a threat. And so losing is sort of like that, and I feel like a lot of times we're hardwired to kind of pay attention to it and give a lot of attention to it because it's very, very painful, and that makes sense. Losing is more painful than winning is pleasurable, and that just makes sense. We're taught to avoid, pain at all costs because that has, from an evolution standpoint, a very negative outcome for us. So I think a lot of our attention is spent on this, and what the reason I'm sort of saying that is because I believe that statistically you get aces as often as you get kings, but what's probably you get aces to kings as often as you get kings to aces, but what's happening here is you're not noticing those things because those are the neutral experiences, or those are the good experiences, and so you're just kind of overlooking them. You're like, you kind of expect to win when you have aces to kings, but you don't expect to get kings to aces because that's unlucky. That's negative, that's bad. And so that sticks with you a lot more than the good experiences stick with you. So while I believe that it feels like this is happening to you more than it's happening to other people, or it's happening to you more often than it should, or it's happening so often that you don't even want to bet after you raise the flop because you're going to get bad beated, or because your opponent's going to have it, or because you're going to get outplayed, or whatever it is. That's not actually happening. And if you took a step back and actually, this is a great exercise for you to do, is write down all the time you get the money in pre-flop or on the flop, or write down every all-in you have, and then weigh your expectation in those pots, right? Run an equity calculation and weigh your expectations. So let's say you have kings to aces. You're supposed to win 20% of the time, and then look over a period of 3 months how often you win. You're going to win probably about the percentage that you have. And so by writing down all the all-ins you have and writing down how much money you win and lose, you'll see that these numbers are evening out in the long run. One other piece of perspective I hope that I could give you is that, you should be getting bad beated often. You should be getting unlucky. You should be getting coolered because you're supposed to be a good player. You're supposed to be a winning player. Evan, you're probably a good poker player. And so what's happening is every time you get the money in, you're getting bad beated or you're getting coolered because that's the only time you get the money in. You only put the money in when you have the best hand, or you only put the money in when you have a really strong, unavoidable situation, like, the second nut flush or a second nut straight or kings or a set, whatever it is. And so when you get beat, your opponents usually have a worse hand, so you're going to get bad beated a lot. And you actually want this to happen. You want to get bad beated because it means you're putting the money in ahead. That's how you win money at poker. And so dealing with the pain and frustration of bad beats is the price you pay for being a professional, right? Like, that's what it means. Like, the house, and you're the house in poker, is always a favorite. And so, if you only want to bad beat other players, then, the price to pay for that is you're going to lose money in the long run, right? Those players that love to put bad beats on other players. They love to have fun. They love to get in there and suck out and hit 2-pair on the river. And they have fun doing that, but they lose a lot of money in the process because they're bad, too loose, bad poker players, right? So the perspective I hope I could give you is that you want this stuff to happen, not in a vacuum. You don't necessarily want to lose when you're all in, but in the long run, the grand scheme of things, you want to have the best hand most of the time, and some percentage of that time, whatever your equity is, you're going to lose. That's just the price you pay. So if it's changing the way you play, if you can't focus on the good, if you can't step back and realize that this is supposed to happen, or if you can't separate yourself from the grand scheme of things in poker and say, like, look, poker's just a game. My life is great. I have family. I have a great life. I'm grateful to be born in the first world. I'm grateful for every single thing, a billion things that I could be grateful for. And it doesn't matter if I win or lose at poker because this is just a game and my life's good no matter what. If you can't keep that perspective, then mentally the poker table might not be the best place to be involved in, because if you can't separate your emotions from your decision making, you're not going to make a great poker player. And that's a very fundamental thing to understand. I'm not trying to say you're not going to be a great poker player or discourage anyone, but I gotta lay down the hammer and give you some tough love, because it's an essential skill to being a winning poker player is to be able to separate your emotions from your decision making. And that's a great skill to have in life too, in business, in relationships, whatever it is, to be able to be unemotional, to have be disconnected, to have no ego. Doesn't mean you're not going to feel emotion or feel anything or root for yourself to win, but it means when it comes to the essence of making a decision, right? You say to yourself, I'm playing scared poker. It means that the fact that you're having a certain result is changing the way you play. That's not a good sign to me, and that shouldn't have any effect on the way you play. In fact, the only thing that should have effect on the way you play is the information you're getting. So how your opponents are playing, how are you adjusting to their game, what information do you have about them? Is your strategy working? Are your c-bets getting called too often? Maybe you should bet less. You should only be making your playing adjustments based on the information you're getting, based on the facts of the game, based on how you can exploit your opponents to make the most money, not based on the results. Those shouldn't have anything to do with how you're affecting your play in terms of your strategy. So I hope this video helped you. Let me know you like this video by giving it a like, giving it a thumbs up, and leaving a comment below. And let me know, if you like this video, what your favorite part of it was. What was the one key takeaway you got from this? Subscribe to my channel if you want more awesome content. There's content coming your way every week, sometimes multiple times a week here on the YouTube channel. And that lets me know that you like this video, you like this channel, and helps me produce more amazing content for you guys. Let me know your favorite part about this video in a comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Evan, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you guys have questions, send them over to me at alectorelli.com/askalec, alectorelli.com/askalec. I'll pick the best ones and feature them here in future videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.